unmute this. And I think this is live now. I don't know for sure. It does say public, so I think that means we are up and running. So yeah, let's see where we're at, cause can't play at all now. The game just crashes every single time. I do enjoy how it's dropping frames, not getting enough data. So I'm getting an error at line 165. Something about list entries. And I have no idea what's causing this error, because I'm doing very similar things elsewhere and it works just fine. So I've changed up a few things. I guess to fix this, I'll just take that one line out that causes it to crash, because then the game will work-ish. I made a new world with a flat map gen, and I put in some beacons, and they work. Except for the fact that now they're kind of broken. So the particle systems only work when you first place them. Oh, there's also particle textures now. So you'll see I just placed this one, and it's connecting to that, to this, and to this one. But they're only going to shoot off their particles for about 10 seconds. There we go. That's all we get. And that's because of some funsies. I don't know that I'd really consider it funsies. The old system, I was just converting the position of each beacon to a string, and then I was using those strings to do the particle systems. Well, that became an issue because you would get the same position listed in the string multiple times. Not good. So I changed it, so I'm doing it in a table now. So actually, if I go back here, is there a way to make this show? Yeah, okay. Oh, hey, that's actually perfect. So this is the table now stored per beacon, and it has a list of all of the beacons that it's linked to locations. For some reason, I cannot access this beacon list. However, I added in this little debug bit of code, so when you punch on a beacon now, it'll tell you the data related to that beacon. So you get the beacon list with all the beacons it's connected to, the description, the links, which is number of beacons it's connected to, and the variant. Links should be working now, so when you remove one, it actually updates correctly, because it wasn't doing that before. It was doing a lot of crazy before, but that's been fixed. What is going on with this connection? I'm so confused. Why does this just want to say that there's no data available? What is going on? My internet should work much better than this. But yeah, so now I have this issue where this table clearly exists. If I can pull it up, clearly this table, all of this data does exist on a per node basis, and I'm dumping it from right here. Or actually, I'm dumping it from right here. It prints the word test, and then it dumps this list entries table. I'm trying to get access to the beacons table, or beacons list, rather, portion of that table, and it doesn't want to work, and I don't know why. It's been a bit of a head scratcher, to be honest. All right, so I don't know what the issue is there. This is all working correctly now, though. So, like, I'm just confused how I can have crystal.data_name_key, and that pulls up the table. And right here, I'm doing data, crystal.data_player_name_key, which is the exact same stuff coming through. It's the same tables. And I'm able to do data.links equals data.links plus 1. And if I try doing that here, it crashes. So I'll just do list entries dot links equals list entries dot links plus 1. and it'll crash at line 165. And I have no idea why. Boom, crash. Actually, it doesn't say which line there, but it probably does in elsewheres. Yeah. Line 165. Attempt to index local list entries, a nil value. But it's not a nil value, because it's right here. It's right here. Local list entries. It's not a spelling error. Links exists because that's what I'm pulling from right here. It's the same thing. I don't understand what the deal is. Crystal, CRYSTAL .data, name, which is the player name, which is passed from spawn beacon particles. And I know all this works because I can dump the table that contains everything, and that works just fine. So the table exists and has all the data it should. Yeah, so here we're using name, which is the player name from an onTimer function, and an onTimer. So now the beacons themselves have a timer to start the lighting effects going again. The LBM starts the timer as well. Because otherwise they were just going infinitely and you would break when it would just keep having particles. Not optimal. So that was fixed. I don't understand what the deal is here. Like, should I just change this to data? It's not going to make any difference. At least it shouldn't. If it does, that would be absolutely bonkers. Okay, I was going to say, if that made something different happen, I would be kind of terrified. Because I'm just changing the name of a variable. And that shouldn't be a reserved variable. Same issue. But yet, if I comment that line out, it'll run and it'll dump the whole tables. And it dumps the tables with zero problem. I don't understand. And I can access it here. Like when I link beacons together, it'll print out that it's linking beacons. So if I just put another beacon over here someplace, linking beacons, and it's showing the tables that they're linked, or the other beacons that they've linked to. And that all works just fine. But then somehow this doesn't, and I don't understand how. Where was this now? Just, make sure everything's coming through the exact same. Not that it's like putting an extra table in or something. Here we go. Linking beacons. And, yep, these are inside of a table. And although it is table inside of a table. Oh, but yeah, I'm just doing beacons list here. Why does this one work and this doesn't? What is the difference? Key, position to string. The table exists. Why can't I access the data in the table? I don't understand. Local data, crystal data, player name. Well, this is the player name, just different. Key, it's the key. It's the key of itself. I'm able to get the data tables from those, which is the same thing I'm doing here. And then I can add and I can subtract from. What is the difference? I don't understand. It's literally the exact same thing. Position to string from position. Why does this function not allow me to get that data? but I can dump the data. Like I could actually even do this. I could just dump the entire data. And then when we link, suppose I have to scroll this down. Then when we link one up, linking beacons, okay, linking beacons, yep, and then it prints dumps data 1, which is beacon list, which the 1 had nothing, which was itself, I think. And then it calls again on the opposite one. I'm not actually sure what it's doing there, but it definitely shows one linked. But now I can't access. I don't. How is this working in one area, but then a couple lines later it doesn't work? This makes no sense. Like, beacons list equals a table. Is there some error there? Beacons list. No, everything is correct there. It equals a table, and then I'm putting this into the table. Why can I not pull this data out of the table? Oh, wait a second though. Where does data 1 come from? Data 1, oh, it's just coming from this. Okay, maybe I need to do that. Let's try this. So that's data. So then we have this. Local test equals. Do I do this? Oh no, it's got to be with square braces. Or with non-square braces. Let's see if I can dump test. I probably can't. It'll probably still crash. Attempt to. Oh. Yeah, well that's completely on me. Copying and pasting and not verifying my source. Hey, here we go. Attempt to index local data, a nil value. Line 165. It literally exists right here. Is it because data and data? If that's the case, I'm going to be quite upset. Attempt to index local S data, a nil value. But if I do print dump S data, I bet it'll print that before it crashes. Shutting down. So now we scroll to the bottom, find the error message. 165. Actually, it was trying to. It crashed and trying to do that. What? What is going on? How is this not valid? None of this makes any sense. What is going on here? Let's call it our table. Equals crystal data name key, which is exactly what we're doing here. Player name, we're passing the player name, the key comes from this. That's all right. Our tables should exist, and it should be full of data. Good, fresh, delicious data. Now we get to crash in 166. which is trying to access something that doesn't exist. Okay. Attempt to index local hour table, a nil value. How is our table a nil value? Like, I don't... No, I heard you can do a square brace with with quotes as well, which I don't know what difference that would make, but allegedly you can do that as well. So let's try that, because I don't know what else to try. No, it's still trying to index our table, which doesn't exist. Do I need to put a period in on that then? I don't think so. I think that'll error out. Yeah. How does this not work? I'm so confused. Is it even dumping our table? It doesn't look like it's even dumping the table now. What is going on here? Test 1. I've got to be making some just absolutely stupid mistake. It'll print test 1 and then it says nil. When it dumps our table now doesn't exist. How does our table not exist anymore? What? Okay, let's try this. Let's go ahead and do print key name. I have to put them inside of parentheses, don't I? Let's see what the key is coming through and what the name is coming through. Okay, so we do get a key, which comes through as 012 negative 255, which if we scroll up till we find a dumped table, that's going to take a minute, I guess. That looks like the kind of tables we're expecting to see, so that's right. Single player, yeah, that would be our name, so we should be able to get our table from that. What if we do print dump crystal.data? Can we just dump the entirety of that? What's that going to do? So we can dump the entirety of the table. The table, first key is single player because it's the player's table. And then we have the keys of each of the individual beacons, and then their linked beacons, and the names and the number of links and the variants. The table clearly exists. It says there's also 41 nodes, which I guess that means I'm actually adding nodes to the node table when they're placed. They're not being taken away when they're removed, though. So that count's not overly useful, to be perfectly honest. It says we're public, but there's no viewers. Is this actually correct? I'm guessing it is. Visibility public. Okay. This fine. Does say there's 4 views, though. I'm not sure how we have views if there's no viewers. How does our table not exist? I can dump crystal data, and that works just fine. Does name somehow need to be something different? Like, name shouldn't have any special value. I use name elsewhere. I don't understand what's happening. How does our table not exist here? But here it does. It's literally the same thing. Crystal data. And we're just changing it from player name to player, or to name, sorry, and key. And then we can dump data 1. And then we just want to get a table out of a table. It shouldn't be that hard. But it crashes again. 169. It says data 1 doesn't exist. Well, that's funny because I bet it printed off. Here we're printing the entirety of the thing, and then test 1, and then we dump data 1, and it doesn't exist. How does this not exist? I have no idea what's happening here. I have absolutely no idea what's happening here. Okay, here's something to check. So we print off the location, that's our key, and then single player. So crystal data name, single player, so we're looking at the single player table, and then we should be looking for a key of 012 negative 255. And if that's just not in this table, you've got to be kidding me. So all of this because somehow this didn't exist in the table? That's kind of retarded. I didn't even know how that's possible. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I spent hours, I don't know if it was actually hours, it was a long time. That was the problem. Was that somehow there's data in the table that doesn't... Unbelievable. 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 Okay, so then I don't need to be dumping this or this because that's just polluting with a lot of stuff. Let's take out that. Let's change that from data to table. And then change this to table. And then change this to table. And then dump test. And let's see if that works. This isn't spawning the particles, so this I think should run on startup. Are we getting any particles? I'm not seeing any particles, but I am seeing test and I'm seeing a bunch of tables come through. Okay, that was the stupidest, most dumbest, most hugest waste of anything. I'm beyond myself with how cringe it is that was the problem. Okay, well now I don't know what I'm doing here, but we're just going to leave it like this and see if that's right. I don't think it will be. Okay, I didn't think so. Bad argument number 1 to pairs, table expected got no. For entry in, yes, that should be table. I don't really know how that's going to work. Oh, that is... Wow. It's all shooting it to someplace very far away. Okay, well let's maybe break these nodes out of here. I don't know if any of this node breaking stuff is working and doing what it's supposed to do. I guess I'll check. I'll just punch this one and then look at my debug info here and see what it says. I am still linked to 2 beacons, which probably were not properly removed from the system. So let's just fly on out someplace where we won't have any interference. And we'll place a beacon there, and we'll place a beacon here. And they should both report that they have one link. Yep. Linking to the other beacon. We have some little particle systems going through there. And they have now decided that they're shooting particles to nil. It's still linking to 1 and to 1, and they should both be the other. So I think what I need to do is probably stop dumping some of this data, because that's just making a mess of the debug and I can't figure out what's going on. Print key, unlink beacons. I don't think I need that in here anymore. I do still want that. That's a very useful debug. Okay. So for entries in pair table do, I need to know what entries are. What are the values of the entries? Okay, it's printing variant links beacon list, description variant links beacon list. Which tells me I have the wrong bit of data here. Oh, yeah. Because I should be using... Okay, well, so then let's try this again. Or can I do this? No, I do need to do it twice. That's kind of annoying, but okay. So we're going to change this from this to table.beaconList. And then we'll do another if remote beacons. So we'll change this from test remote beacons. Then we want to do all of this stuff. And we want to change this from that to remote beacons. There we go. Let's see what happens now. Okay, I am getting coordinates. For some reason I got them 4 times. They are just linking the 2. So that does seem like that's correct. Now when let me play some more out. Let's put a little pedestal here with a beacon on top of that. And let's put a pedestal over here with a beacon on top of that. So we should have a nice little conglomeration of beacons linking up here. That's linking. So they're all linking to each other. So they should all report 3 links, 3 links, 3 links, 3 links, 3 links. And now I will break this one. That still reports 3 links. That still reports 3 links. That still reports 3 links. Which that does make sense because I didn't actually take the links out in the unlinking because I couldn't. That's terrible. Because I couldn't make it work because it kept crashing and I couldn't figure out why. I never thought it was because some of those corrupted data in it. I should have known better. All right, so now I need to find I can take all this out because I got that code working. Also, this really needs to get some organization. Put the functions in function files. Put these in different files, but whatever. I need to find the unlink beacon. Here we go. Unlink beacon. I'll take that away. Okay, beacon spawn particles. So I think I need to do close to the same thing, really. We have the self position, which is position to string position. Okay, I think I can get rid of all of this. Just start from scratch, because I don't know what that was doing. It wasn't working, clearly. So there's no point in having it sitting around, because I don't know what it's doing. So what we need to do, self position equals core position to string position. Do I need to know that? I don't think so. I think what I need to start with is a table. And this. So I need to do actually all of this. I need the key, I need the table. I need to pretty much just copy the entirety of spawn beacon particles and throw it in here. But then instead of doing that, oh, I can take these out because they are working. Position 2, string to position entry. So I will need that. I will not be calling a crystal particle system though. I will be updating. I'll be updating counts. So I will need to get data on position 2. So that's position to string, and this is string to position. So entry is actually already what I need. So do I even need I might not even need this. I'll leave it there, but I don't think I actually need it. So we're going to do local remote data equals crystal.data player name. And then the key, which is going to be entry. Because entry is the string, which is what the keys are. So we have remote data now. So then that lets us do data.links equals data.links minus 1. And then data.beacons underscore list. This needs to be key, I think. Because that's this one. We want to take this one out. Equals false. Potentially that's what we need. We're going to find out real quick. Ooh, and it crashes right away. Sweet. Inline 161. Great. What's in 161? Local remote data, crystal data. Oh, placer name. Yeah, it shouldn't be placer name. It should be player name. No, actually, it shouldn't even be that. It should just be name. That's what happens when you copy it from another function that's using different variable names. Okay, 162. Oh, yeah. It would help if I was using the right data structure naming. I don't know if there's really data structure naming. Okay, now what? Attempt to index global remote data and nil value. 162. Okay, well, let's try this. Print dump remote data. And if we get a nil before we get the crash, we get a nil before the crash. Undeclared global variable remote data accessed at line 162. Oh, because that says remote date. How in the? I thought, okay, well, now I'm still getting an error in 163. So I'm printing off some other tables from someplace, but I don't know where I'm dumping those from. I love when I just dump stuff all over and I don't know what actually was dumped. It's very helpful. Where am I dumping things? Try that again. We dump remote data in there, and we're okay. So it's printing, it's dumping this data when it prints all this out, I guess. But then it's returning with a nil. Where does the nil come from? I guess we'll just do, just to make sure that's actually where this code is being spit out from. Okay, it prints remote data and then it prints nil. So remote data doesn't exist. So that means it thinks it's linked to something that was removed from the system. So what we're going to do then is if remote data, then indent all of this. Just put a sanity check in, you know. Okay. I'm seeing no particles. Let's see what happens when we place a beacon out. Okay, let's... It ain't gonna hurt anything. Maybe it will, I don't know. Place new beacons. And I'll punch this one. It does say it has 5 links, which is not correct. That one says it has 3 links, which is correct. That one says it has 1 link, which is not correct. That says it has 3 links. This whole linking system's not really working right. And my particles do not appear to be working correctly either. Now I am getting this remote data that's printing. What am I doing? I'm editing the wrong... Yeah, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Somehow I'm editing the beacon particles to removing data instead of the unlinked beacons function to remove the data. If remote beacons... Okay, well I just messed everything up there. All right, so I guess I'll just do this and that, and I'll hope that's correct. And then we're gonna take all of this. This is a terrible way to do things, but that's what happens when you make a big boo-boo. Guess we'll just go here. If remote beacons, then so I'll take out this. Yeah, we don't want to be doing any of the particle systems on that. So we're going to come in here and untab those out. Okay, unlink beacons. All right. Let's see how things go now. Okay, I'm getting some particle systems going here. That's looking good. Okay, everything's linked properly. This is exciting. This is exciting. I just kind of have to let it chill for a minute to make sure that the particle system is actually... I don't have set time. Of course I don't. I've only recreated this world multiple times because I've changed things and then I've kind of broken stuff and then it just doesn't work. And as we all saw with the stupid mistake that was hanging me up for forever, yeah, that's not good. All right, so this looks like it's working just fine. Now we still have some issues with the whole number of linked, but that could be because I had all this stuff messed up. It says there's negative 36 links on this one. I'm going to put a new one in. Actually, I'm just going to replace all of these and see if that fixes things. It says there's 6 links. It says there's 5 links. 4 links and 3 links. Only one of those is true. There is not 6 links. It's linked to 3 different... Okay, well, what if... Do I need to store... That's still listing 3 nodes, though. So it's still not working. It hasn't pulled this one out. And now this is going to have an extra thing linked. Okay, I think the whole links bit is potentially useless because I think I can get that value from beacons list. So when how do I do that? I think we'll just do this. Print number remote data beacons list key. Oh, I'm gonna have to put it in in parentheses because I'm trying to print it. Okay, now theoretically, this will tell me remote data. Oh, this runs on an unlink. Okay, so I need to break one. That's weird. Why is it not telling me anything when I break it? Unlink beacons. That's just showing from punching it. Okay, is this code even running? Let's see where this is breaking down in the whole caboodle of things. When I break it, it does give me does this run. And this is really annoying that what I want to be placing isn't the first node. There we go. It just runs a does this run. Okay. So the table doesn't exist. Where does unlink beacons run in the grand scheme of things as far as the table for the node being destroyed? Crystal unlink beacons. You know, what if that's the cause, the root cause of my issues? Is that in my onDestruct? Oh. Yeah, well, if I put it before the... Oh. Probably doesn't help any. How long has that been backwards? And I've just stupidly been... like an idiot? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here, but I'm going to comment it out. I want that code to run in the unlink beacons section, I think. Unbelievable. Oh, okay. Attempt to get length of a Boolean value. Wait, huh? Remote data beacons list key? That's a Boolean value? I thought that was a table. Oh, you know what? I probably just want to do that. If I give it a key, then it's only a single thing, and obviously its value is only going to be 1. There we go. It has a value of 0. Really, that's weird because it's showing 3. So something there is not quite right. And I can't see anything. Let's make it a little brighter. Okay, we'll let these particles kind of fizzle out and see what is going on. Because something's kind of messed up. I'm going to put them in the same positions. Because that way the data will be overwritten to those existing keys. And I think that'll be what I want. So punch it. It says links 6. We can kind of ignore that. Links 5, links 4. Yeah, none of that means anything. I don't know where it's pulling all that from. There's 3. And it's in the beacons list. So now if I destroy this, and then I come over here and punch this one, it still lists all of the beacons. So that's still not right. So what is my key? Well, actually, let's check to see how far this code is running even. Does this run, does this, and lastly this. And then it is printing remote data. So this code was all running that time around. So that's good. So can I do this? Actually, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. There is a way. I don't know what it is. I've done it in the past though, where you can get a number of items in a table with a thing, remote data. Okay, now this is running through a loop, but beacons list is definitely printing off, and it's a table of 3 entries that all say true. So all I need to do is find out how to count a table in Lua. How to get number of entries. Okay, you can iterate through the whole thing and count it, which is kind of dumb. See, I thought you could do... I thought you could just put a number in front of it and it would tell you. Is that not... I've done it in the past, but maybe I did something different. If table insert, tables is unordered sets. I mean, it doesn't matter what the order is. Okay, well, you know what? I can count them. That's not a big deal. Okay, so the whole links then we can kind of just ignore, because we can take remote data beacons list and I could count it. If I really cared, which I kind of do because it kind of does matter, I can count it. Remote data beacons list key. So remote data beacons list, and key is itself. So let me do this. And then I'll throw a removed beacon from list. Let's see if it's removing the beacon from list. If it's not, well, then we know that something else is at fault. I don't know what. Okay, removed beacon from list. Okay, well, the list on the top and the list on the bottom are exactly the same. So, oh wait, but one does say false now. Okay, well, that's good. So let's make it equal nil. I think that's my fault. I think that should have been equaling nil all along, because false doesn't really do anything because we're not checking for truthiness or falsiness. There we go. So we place it. It says there's 3. Says there's 3. Says there's 3. Says there's 3. We break this one. This one now lists 2. This one lists 2. And that one lists 2. All right. So then after 10 seconds, we should stop getting particles going to this. Finally. All right. Well, that's fun. So now we can eliminate all of these print statements. Did I just remove something that wasn't a print? No, I did not. Okay. We don't need to have any of this anymore. This can go bye-bye. This can go bye-bye. Okay. Well, that was the exciting, the most exciting, the best. I'm so excited. So now if we place this one back out, it doesn't print me anything off on the debug here, but I can punch it, and it will give me the 3 nodes it's linked to, which is all correct. The number of links is still wrong, but I'm not too super worried about that, I guess, because like I said, I know I can get that value elseways. And I know a mod that I do it in, so all I have to do is pull that mod up. What was that? That was my survival mod. And it was in, I think it was in an ABM. Okay, no, it was not in that. Oh, what was it in then? There was a thing. I know I did it in a thing to prevent flowers from getting too dense. Okay, well. Not in this mod. All right, well that's fine. I should grab ChatGPT. Hey ChatGPT, how do I do this? I know there's a thing where I can put an octotrough in front of a table and it'll give me the count of items in the table. But that might only be with certain types of tables. Maybe my table is the wrong type of a table? No. For array-like tables, numerically and contiguously indexed. If your table is a sequence of values with consecutive integer keys starting from 1, like an array, you can use the length operator. Well, mine's a table of tables, so I don't think that's going to actually work for me. But, we'll try it. So we'll do local count equals octotroph and then remote beacons. And then we'll just do print. Oh, I gotta do number of beacons and then a space and we'll just see what that does. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't work, it's not the biggest deal. I do need to break the node to see that run. No issues there. Number of beacons, 0. Which is funny because there's definitely beacons in there. That's fine though. There are other ways to count it, and I can count them other ways. That's not a big deal. The important thing is that that's working now. Because that was a nightmare. I'm glad it's solved though. Because that was unpleasant. Okay, we do need to come through and remove this data now. Which I think I'm doing here, right? Crystal data player name key nil. If remote data. Now remote data. Crystal unlink beacons. Is remote data actually remote data or is that self data? That's doing what it needs to do. Where did I put the... Oh, I didn't throw it in there. Okay, well that's fine. Let me just copy it here then and throw it here. So if remote data, okay, let me think. So remote data is the list of, no, table is the list of beacons to the beacon that you removed. So remote beacons is the list of beacons on the affected beacon because you removed one beacon. So you're trying to pull that beacon out of that list. So I need to go from, I think, table. So that would be coming through down here. After this, I would throw in the crystal data player name, which won't be player name. It will be name. Key, which is now our position of the one we removed, equals nil. So we're removing that out. So let's hope this doesn't crash. We'll go ahead and break this node. I don't know what it just printed out. Oh, that printed because I punched it. Yeah. So we'll punch this one. It says links 4, which is not true. But we're ignoring the link counts because I haven't gotten those working. All right, so now I should be able to punch any one of these. It says links 3. It says links 3, links 3, I think I fixed it without even trying to fix it. That's perfect. Well, but let's see. When I break this one, what does it now say on this? That still says links 3. Which is incorrect. Because it's only 2 links now. But I could probably... I could probably change that by just doing remote data links equals remote data links -1. I think what the issue was, and this will kind of my own fault for doing it in a table instead of in metadata, is when this node was destroyed from here, that data still existed in the database with a reference to it from here. So when I placed the new one, it didn't set the values back to 0 because I don't know, it doesn't. So then it was taking that old value and adding the new values to it. So I bet this says there's 3 links. That now said there was 4. I think I'd probably have to break all of these to make it actually work. 3 links, 3 links, 3 links, 3 links. We'll break this one. 2 links, 2 links, 2 links. Nice! So I don't even have to worry about any funky trying to count entries in the table because it actually just works the way it's supposed to work. Nice. That is Swellimus. I am so happy that is sorted out. All right, well then with that sorted, I'm going to do a important thing. Very important. You can't see any of it though, which is a bit unfortunate. I'm just grabbing a texture for the beacon. It's a temporary texture. But I'm kind of sick and tired of it always changing. And I have just the... Wait, where is it? Yes, I have just the object. Oh, that's weird. Oh, here it is. I'll just copy and go ahead and paste that. And then we're going to call this crystal... I don't know what the texture was supposed to be called. Beacon sr.png. Is that what it's supposed to be called? You're going to find out really quick. Crystal short range. Okay, well. Great name. Clearly, because I didn't remember it. You're going to love this. It's actually not terrible. I think it's good. Hey, look at that. I mean, it doesn't match at all for the colors, but hey, it kind of looks crystal-y. Ish, maybe? Okay, well that's working. So that means it's now time for organization. Yes, I love organization. Clearly, which is why this is so disorganized. We are going to go ahead and create some new files. We're going to have functions.lua. Wait, where did I just create that file? Because it didn't create where I wanted it to create. Where's this located? In Kobo? No, I don't need it there. I want it here. New file. Functions.lua. We need another new file called nodes.lua. And then we're going to come into here and we're going to say register nodes. Register nodes, register nodes. Yep. You are coming with me to the nodes file. So that way we're organized and neat and clean. And it's a little easier to reference between them too. Functions, guess what? All my function files, you're going on over into there. This needs to stay in there. Crystal load, crystal save. Those can go into the functions. I should have done a cut from there. Core register on new player. You know, that counts as a function. We're just going to go ahead and cut all of those out of there and throw them into here. So I have all the functions in there. And then I just need to do some do file, and I don't know how to do those offhand. So I'll just look at another spot where I know I have it, because that's always the easiest way to do any of this. That's not really what I wanted to do, but that'll work. So we have, mod path. So we want to start with that, which technically you don't have to because you could just type core get mod path in every single line, but that seems a bit excessive. And then I'm just going to copy one of these, and we're going to go ahead and paste it here. So then we're going to have our first file is going to be functions, which I think actually does have to be first even because the other things call things that are in the functions. I don't know if that's actually the case, but maybe it is. And then we're going to have do file mod path nodes.lua. And you'll be saying, wow, that's really not a whole lot of stuff going on in here. Did you really need to split it up? No, not really, but it makes it neater. And it's good to be neat. Except now we crash because of mod path. Oh, yeah, because it's not called Kobo. That's kind of a no-brainer. Should have figured that one out. That's working. I guess we'll just let this sit here for a couple minutes. I didn't do what I wanted at all. I mean, I guess that's what I typed. I should have done like 2,000. So we'd be at a dark. Okay. I don't know if I feel like that's actually lighting things up. I guess it is. Okay. It was placed not for long, and then it was removed. Those are all working. Goody, goody, goody. So the next function will be to put the lights in, which, if I jump over here and into nodes, I do have all of my lights being, let's really say light source instead of source. And then someplace, there is the function that does that. Register LBM. I don't need that anymore because that's not being used. Lights dropped, light removal. Yeah, I do still need that. Okay, so these will be the two functions that we're looking at then to get off the ground with our lights. So that way we will be spitting some lights out around the different beacons. So I'll go ahead and pull this back up. And then I guess I'll do, well, I don't even know how to do this. Can I just like alt tab? I can just alt tab. Sweet. We're going to go ahead and change it to this. It's a smaller resolution, so we'll just leave it like that. I will be back in like 10-15 minutes or so. You know, get a drink, use the bathroom, do some push-ups, sit-ups, squats, whatever. Tell somebody you love them. Call your mom. I don't know. I'm not your dad. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'll be back in 10-15 minutes, so I will see you then. Welcome back. That little hum was courtesy of, well, myself, but because somebody yesterday said they got scared when they heard my voice. So I thought a little humbity hum might make it less scary before I came back from tucking the kids in. Okay, so this should be working. I mean, that was whatever that was, 12, 13 minutes, and no issues there. It all worked. So that means the next thing to do is get to the lights. Now the lights, walkable, false, buildable, true, pointable. Okay, so I think this is put back to what it should be. So then we just need to do pretty much, I think, I just need to change the function from being called lights to crystal. No, just crystal. Oh, and hello, by the way, Neptunian Wave. Good to have you here. So we're going to drop a light on the ground. Now, this is only dropping single nodes on the ground. With a position and a value. And then we have removed a drop light, which just counts 20 nodes down. And then removes the invisible light. If I shouldn't say that. It'll go up to 20 nodes down looking for an invisible light. And if it finds it, it removes it. And if it doesn't find it, well, it obviously won't remove it because it clearly doesn't exist. But we need to do a little more than that. Also, why are these... Oh, because I did all these as function. I wonder if that makes any difference. I would imagine it probably doesn't. But for consistency's sake, we're going to do them the other way. I don't think it makes any difference at all. All right, so we have these two functions, which is great. So now we need a function, another function. We need so many functions. We're going to call this function crystal place lights, which will take a position, it'll take a variant, and it'll take a light value. How do I want to define light value? Do I just want to type out light value? I mean, that seems like a mighty long bit to call it. And actually, this is going to be beacon type, not variable. You know, it doesn't really matter. We're not going to be typing them that much. And this will be light level. Let's call it that. Okay, so that's going to be useful to do some things. So we'll start with the position. Well, actually, no, we won't even start with the position. Also, I spelled beacon incorrectly. Beacon type and light level. What do we need to start with? We know the position where the beacon's at, and we want to place lights in a... Well, actually, let's jump back in the world and see what we want to do. So if we put a beacon out, then I think what we wanted to do was... using the torches, we were going to put a light here, a light here, a light here, a light here. And then was it like this? Was that the plan? So one space and then two spaces? That was the plan, at least for the bright ones. Or the long range beacons. That might be a bit much for the short range. Short range, maybe we'll just do these. But then we'll also put one there, and there, and there, and there. And they'll just be at whatever height they end up at. So that way we'll get some light spreading around, which I think will be a nice effect. The only issue is placing all of these. It's kind of going to be a pain in the butt. So let's get to it. So first things first, we know our position, so we're going to need some new vectors to place the other lights. My color's kind of... There we go. That's better. How did I get messed up? Wrestling with the kids. Okay. So we know that we need +1 and +3 and -1 and -3 in both x and y, and then the other ones will be plus and -2 in each. So I think we'll start with if beacon type equals short range, then we will go on to our new vectors. So that's going to be, there's got to be a better way of doing it than this. I guess would you just do position 1 equals, how do we even do this? It's like, because there's some goofy vector stuff you're supposed to do. Oh, it actually has to be local. Oops. Local position 1 equals position. It should be vector math or something. Let's just take a looky peeky here, and see. Is it vector add? Vector add returns a vector. If x is a vector, returns the sum of v and x. If x is a number, adds x to each component of v. Vector subtract returns the difference. Multiply, divide. I'm assuming I can do vector and I can subtract as well in an addition. Normally that's how that works. Vector add, and then v is, I think, our first vector. Actually, I don't even know if it matters. But we'll have position, and then our second vector, can I just put the vector in as a vector as such? So then that would be -3, 0, and I'm not going to put spaces between them, and 0. And then we would have local position 2 equals vector add position. I should really make sure this even works before I get too far along. -1, 0, 0, and 0. Okay, so we're going to have all of these. There's got to be a better way of doing this. Can I put each of these into a table and then just iterate through the whole table? That would be the easiest, bestest, fastest way. But I don't know how to do that. We'll just leave it like this for right now. So then we're going to go ahead and do a... Well, actually, I could do this. I could do this right now. Crystal drop lights. Position will be position 1. Value, this is going to be the light level. So that'll be light level. Like so. And then we would do it again for this, but at position 2. And then if it's a long range, obviously we would be doing something different. Drop light is dropping. These need to be changed to crystal. And I thought we'd renamed this to light source. And that should be it for that. So then I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to take away the error-like draw type, because that should make it visible, I think. Pretty sure. It's my visible. All right, and then we're going to put a little stack up here and we'll pop one up on top of it. You know, I'm going to have to say that didn't do anything because I didn't tell it to do anything. That's on me. So we should have a crystal place lights that we're going to be calling when we place the lights. So after place node, we have crystal on place beacon. We're going to have crystal place lights position, which is position, of course. The beacon type is going to be SR. And the light level on these We'll say 7. You know, actually, I don't think I want to put that here. Let's go into the onPlaceBeacon function, because depending on the number of connected beacons, we did want to change this. So now we have find beacons. Check for beacons to link with. I don't know what this one's doing. If it's just setting it up. That's cool. Okay, so we have a link beacons. I think that's where we actually want to do this. So where is our link beacons function? There's too many functions. Actually, where is it? Why is it? No, this is a mess. Oh, and this is this horrible one too? Okay, great. Well, I know the links-ish. Okay, well, we're just going to put this here with, well, it's position and position 2. And then this will be data 1 dot links. And this will be data 2 dot links plus 5. Plus 6? I don't, ooh. Because the more links you have, the brighter the lights will be. Now, I'm hoping, this has not been tested. Hoping this works. Obviously, it has not been tested. That's what we're doing now, is doing the testing. Ooh, 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 it crashed. What a surprise. Line 171, huh? What's going on in line 171? Wait, what is going on line 171? Attempt to perform arithmetic on field X, a nil value. Oh, never mind, that's not in there. That's actually in... Find beacons after place and... Oh. It can't be on data links, because those are actual number values. Position and position 2 are wait, are they? Yep, those are valid positions. So I bet the crystal place lights probably has a mistake. Light level. Is the vector add wrong? Do I need to define this out as x equals? Because that's just y. That's just, you're just doing too much now. But I'm pretty sure that's what the case is. Which, I mean, would you ever put them in any other order? I wouldn't think so. Hey, there we go. Now that's kind of goofy, because it wasn't particularly supposed to do that. Okay, but that's fine. Or not. Where are my... Okay, let's... Okay, why is it placing 3 of them? For starters. Not supposed to do that. Okay, so drop light. If new node name air equals air, then I equals I plus 1. Why is it not an else if? Why? Shouldn't it just be else if? If new node name, which is one node lower, equals air, we add 1 to it. If the node name is not air, if I is less than or equal to 2, then I equals I minus 1. What? What is any of this doing? Huh? If I is greater than 2, then I equals I minus 1 to make it 1. I'm confused as to what any of that's all about. But also, how am I getting 3 of them stacked? Not supposed to stack 3. Should only get 1. Let's build a taller tower. See how many we get this time. Is it like doing a whole row of them? Oh, maybe it is doing a whole row of them. Okay, no, what? I am really confused now. Also, where did these come from? Because I don't remember putting those there. Okay, what if I put one here? Now I get nothing. But if I go up 1 node, I do? Oh, no, wait, what? Okay, well, let's go up 2 nodes. There we get it, okay. So then let's go up 3 nodes. I'm really confused as to what's going on here. And now I get 2. Maybe I shouldn't have used this code because this is jank. That's not what I want at all. I think it's putting a light everything minus. Okay, this is bad code. I don't know why I'm using this. I should just rewrite the whole thing from scratch. We'll just use this for reference. Local I is 1, so that's our starting count. While I is less than 20, we're going to go down 1 position. Local new node, if new node name is air, then we add 1 more. If the new node's name is not air, then I don't know why we care about any of that, because we don't care about any of that. If the what's up? Oh, we okay. If the new node name is not air, I also need to check the group because I do want to replace the lights. If new node name is not air and that should actually be core. It's old code. New node name. If new node name is not air and core get item group, new node name invisible light. Invisible light what? It should be greater than 0. Then let's go on to the next line, which will be placing a node, which I took that line out. Oops. That's fine. Is that actually fine? I don't know. I need a core place node. Is there a core place node up in this file here someplace that I can just copy? Because I don't know what it is offhand. Well, I don't know what it is, so I'll just jump over into the... We should have a core place node. Core place node, no, position and the node. Simple enough. Core place node. Position is going to be... What is the new position going to be? Is it this? I think it's this. So actually, I should just be able to do new position, right? Because new position is going to be 1 node above this. And when this is no longer air... Oh, I don't know. This actually might be wrong, but we're going to go with it. Because why not? And then the node is... Do I put the node in a table? I don't think so. I think I just do it like this. And that would be... light source underscore val. I think. Let's try it. I can't punch those, so that's a bit offsetting. Okay, well that didn't place anything, so that's not really working then evidently. Also didn't place anything. So again, clearly not working. I'm also not getting particles out of a lot of these anymore, which What's up with that? Can you have too many particle systems? Do things break if there's too many sets of particles going at once? I don't know. Interesting. Well, I guess it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Maybe they'll all come back. Or maybe they won't. Who knows? So I don't think I'm doing my place node here correctly. Let me just go to... does it even matter here? I think I can go to... Is it this? I knew I'd do a place node in here. No, not the after place node. Someplace you have an option when you click on a button that it places a node for a flag. Where is that? Is there like a base? Yeah, it's probably in this file. After place node. Well, what in the world? Somehow it places a flag when you hit the repair button. Field repairman. Spawn. Oh, no, it's to buy repairman. Let's field repair. Core set node. Ah. Okay, well that. Okay, well what's the difference between place node and set node? I think the set node variant is probably what I want. New position and then name. Okay, so yeah, I was definitely getting that mixed up. That'll be our crystal light source. And then the value for how bright it is. And let's see if this works now. Hey! Super Wolfkin. Howdy. Nice. I was actually going to ask if you know of any videos to set up a server. But then check your profile and say you had a video showing how to do that. So yeah. Yeah, I do. It may be kind of old, but I think it still is. Uh-oh. That's not good. That's probably when my particle systems weren't working. I think I have an infinite loop in my drop lights code here someplace. Oh yeah, you know what I bet I do? I need to go ahead and say that I equals 21. I equals 21. And that way this loop stops running. That's when my particles all died. That's fine. I can hard shut it off. It's running through a terminal, so I get the debug output. Okay, now we have particles back. Sweet. And let's see. I still didn't get, but that could be because it's on the ground. No. Okay. Well, what am I doing wrong? Oh, okay. What am I doing wrong? I might need to throw some debugging statements in here. Oh, don't tell me it's in an infinite loop again. I thought I fixed the infinite loop. Okay, well, where am I infinitely looping then? The loop of all loops. Yeah. Not great. However, it's also not really horrible because it's an easy enough solution. You just got to figure out where the problem is, which is maybe not quite so easy. While I is less than 20, do. So if new node name is air and we're counting down, we add 1. And then our new position is 1 node lower. So we just keep doing that while we go down. If the new node name is not air, and core get item group new node name invisible light, that might be, you know, I'll take that whole bit out because that might be what's throwing me off here. If the node is not air, then we're going to set the node at the new node position. I is going to equal 21, which means I is now greater than 20, so this should not keep looping. And that should be right. Drop to light removal is not being called, so nothing there should matter. I'm not doing anything funny here with any loops. Nope. Okay, well, let's Where am I looping that things are hanging up? I do like all of these. I mean, look at this. This is nice. All of these beacons. These beacons are all shooting through each other, which is a bit silly. Let's be honest, but that's fine. There's so many particle systems. You love to see it. I can't tell if any of them are going through these lights. They might be. Why is this one not linking to this one? It should be within its range. Let's see. That's linked to 3. That's linked to 6. Bet this one's got a bunch. 7. Now, some of these might be incorrect numbers now because I've had to kind of terminate it a few times. Okay, well, they all seem to be working, so let's put 1 stone out. Okay, well, at least we got a crash this time. Unknown node, crystal light source 7. You know what? That's a good call. That should have been an underscore. That's my bad. Let's try again. Ooh. That did some crazy stuff. These two updated as well? Did you... What? Huh? What? I didn't mean for that to happen. It should happen. Anything that these link to, because these numbers are now increased, so it should be dropping the new brighter light sources. I guess I wrote the code good enough that it works, which is surprising because I wasn't even trying to do that, I don't think. Of course, they're setting one node too low, so that's not optimal. So I just need to do... Well, what if I do... I need to do this at new position when the position's minus I plus 1. But if I put the new position underneath that, down here, that works, right? Or does it? No, it doesn't, because new node doesn't exist then. But if I do this, and then I do this, local new position y minus I think that works. And then this will update, and then that should all just work, and I don't have to touch the vector a second time to update it. It's kind of dumb to actually put that here because I'm not going to see if anything changed. Okay, it's still putting it in the ground, so... Crystal light source. Oh! Yeah, I didn't think of that. That's, I do need to cap my value at 15. Where am I doing that? That's in light level here. But that's being placed from this. No, wait a second. Where does light level come from? Where am I doing crystal place lights? Because I need to be capping the brightness there. So disorganized, even after I organized it. Crystal place lights. Okay, so I need to do... We're going to just do this, and we'll do local light level 1 equals math max data dot 1 dot links plus 6 14. Actually, that should be a math min, shouldn't it? Because 14 is as high as she goes. And then we'll do, I'll just copy it because it's the same thing. It's going to be light level 2 for data 2. And then here we will just put light level 1, and this one will be light level 2. And then we cap out at 14, which is as bright as the lights can go. That should all be correct, so we won't get this funky error again. Hopefully. Hopefully. We'll see what y'all actually does when we do it. Let me just place a beacon on top of a beacon. Okay, but where are my... I guess it's just replacing these, isn't it? That is what I told it. Is that what I told it to do? I can't remember now if I told it to do that or not. It's still placing them in the ground. I don't want them in the ground. That's goofy. That also is... wow, that's quite the mess. I have no problem with the FPS. I'm still running at a smooth 60. Now, are these buildable too? They sure are. Sweet. They were supposed to be. Because, well, you know, they're lights. And they're invisible. And it would be kind of annoying. I mean, they're not invisible right now. But it would be kind of annoying if you were trying to build something and you were like, there's nothing here. What am I hitting? Why does this not work? I should really leave those there so I can use the remove light function to remove them. Okay, well, so that's still not working. But it's not crashing anymore because it was too bright. So that's a win in my books. Okay. Core set node, new position. We just need to set the node at one position higher than the position that the position is. New node name is air. Then we're adding 1 to I. If the new node name is not air, we still need to add 1 to it, don't we? Okay, and I think the correct way of doing this is not this. And honestly, this is a little neater. So we're going to go ahead and do it what I think is the correct way. Local new position is going to be vector add. And that'll be a -1. Which, yes, I could use a vector subtract, I suppose. But, yeah. And at that point, because I have to do funky stuff anyways, I'll make it less funky and just change this back like that. And then we will... Actually, that needs to go above. However, I can just change new position. I don't need to redeclare it as a local because it's already... Excuse me. It's already in a local space. So I can just, I think, do this. Can I? No, I can't. I need to do y equals I minus 2. I don't know if that actually works. We'll see. Either it's going to give me an error, or it'll do what it's supposed to do. Okay, well, now I'm really confused. How did it... It worked if it was in the ground, but when it's above ground, it doesn't work? Hello? What are we doing here? That's not how this is supposed to work. Okay, well then we'll change this to... Oh, no, because... Okay, we need to do... My fault, silly math mistake. We need to do y equals I plus 2 subtracted. I think that's what we want. Or not. What? Just not placing it? Can I not call it out like that? It's very possible I can't. So then we'll just do I equals I minus 2? And then we'll do minus I? Pretty sure that's what it should be. If we could, even get one to place. Oh, hey, okay. That's not what we want. So is it just I plus 1? eventually, there we go. All right, and then if we put a stack out, that doesn't work. What? What is going on? What am I doing? How does it work on the ground? But in the air, it doesn't. What? All right, we're just gonna do one of these where we just print I. And we'll just watch the numbers climb. And we'll ignore these flies. Okay, I'm gonna break that one and place one. Oh, look at those numbers go. And it's going a bunch of times. Wowzers. Those are all the affected beacons. Okay, there's too many beacons here. I never thought I'd say that, but I have too many beacons. Let's travel off to the distance. Smidge. Little bit. Place a beacon. There we go. Okay, it did nothing. That's kind of disappointing. In fact, it didn't even... Okay, so it placed it on these. In the right spots, mind you. But nothing on this one. Am I doing something wrong with placing the lights? Is that where the issue is? I bet it is. I bet I'm only placing the lights on... But no, they were placing on other ones before, weren't they? No, I don't remember. I feel like they were. Well, what do my numbers tell me anyways? I still have huge numbers. All the way up to 19. Up to 19. I mean, there's nothing close enough that those should have been going from. Is there? Let's go even further out. And let's change the time so I can actually see what's going on. Okay, we're going to go... Oh, well now I'm going towards other beacons that have existed. We're going to run way over here. There's no way that I had any beacons over here before. I don't think so. Put a little tower and beacon. I get nothing. Put a little tower and a beacon. Oh, and I still get nothing. Okay, put a tower and a beacon. And I still get nothing? What is going on? I'm getting a bunch of numbers printing out. Clearly, I'm just really stupid. What is this doing? Let's go ahead and print out new node name. That'll let us see a little more easily what's going on here, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and break these. And let's place this one. And it does nothing. And then I place this one and it starts counting a bunch of air. It's all counting air. Is it going the wrong direction? Am I just a retard and it's going the wrong direction? Is it going up instead of down? Because that would be quite cringe, actually. Drop lights, vector add, y -1. Does that not work? Do I actually have to do... Because I can do a vector subtract. Oh, wait. No, I'm just an idiot. Because it needs to be I. Yeah, that would do it. Because we're not doing... Wow. All right, well, let's, I'll break these. Break these lights just to make sure we got everything. Okay, well, we still don't. But now we do. And now it places extras and it doesn't go into them. Okay, so why does the first one... Oh, and yeah, and it won't break those, which is... I need to get that fixed. Why does the first one not get the lights placed? Where are we doing place lights in? We're calling this function in 2 positions. Crystal place lights, position and position 2. Short range. Mm. Well, that's a problem because I don't actually know that it's going to be short range. They could be long range, but that's neither here nor there, honestly. Place lights on position 2 with light level 1 and light level 2. So it should be placing on both that it's linking together. Position 2 is the found position 1, or position is one that we just placed. Does link beacons only run if there's a beacon to link to? It does. Yes, it does. Okay, well, so this can't stay here then. Or it can, because I do need to do the whole light level for that. But I also need to place this in the initial placement of the beacon. Find beacons on place beacon. Here we go. So when you place a beacon, we also need to place the lights. Position, we have the position. The variety, the variant, actually we have available to us as a variant. Nice. And then light level 1, unfortunately, we don't have, but we also know when you place it, it won't be linked to anything. So we can just do whatever the default value here is going to be, which I thought was 6 plus links. So we can go that up here and just put a value of 6 in. All right, that wasn't so bad. It just turns out I was kind of stupid. Hey, there we go. We get our 2 lights placed where they should. Now, if we do this and place one here, I placed that in the wrong spot. My bad. I should have had one more space in there, I guess. Let me just place some nodes and try this again. All right, so if we place, we get those, and if I place one here, it still stacks. Okay, I don't want it to stack, so I do need to do that whole little thing where I'm checking against what the node is. If new node name is not air, or now I gotta find that group thing again, which of course oh no, it's right here. But these should both be core. Let's just change them over real quick. Cringe. Okay. If new node name is not air, or get item group invisible light, I don't think that's right. Because this is going to place it one node above it, which would still do the same thing. I wanted to place it on top of it if it is invisible light. So what I need to do, well, this isn't so terrible. This isn't actually terrible at all. I just have to do this. Else if core get item group new node name blah blah blah, then then I can take out this line or this chunk of the line. Then we're going to do essentially the same thing. This might not be the neatest way of doing it. And in this case, we don't change I. We're still going to make I equal 21 so it doesn't keep going. But this should place the light source on top of the existing light source so we don't get stacked light sources. So if we go ahead and remove these light sources by just doing that, and then we break these, and then we place one here, we get those light sources, hey, and it works. And now if this was pointable, which like an idiot they're not, I could see which levels they were, and we would know if we had, okay, well that didn't work. Are they not linked? I mean, is it too great of an angle? It could be, honestly. Now they're linked. Okay, so now this one should have... Well, that's funny. This one says it has one link, but this one didn't update. This updated to source 7. This is still source 6, and this is source 6. Okay, let's try this again. Oops. Oops. Okay, source 6, source 6. That's as it should be. Source 6, source 6, source 7. How are these functions running? The drop light is running here. I guess. Yeah, I was going to say I could just add the value right here. If there's already a light there and I'm putting a new light to it. But then what if the light's going to a less intense of a light? I wouldn't want to do that because that would let you cheat. And you could place things and then dig things or whatever. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Okay, so we have the drop light and the place lights. And we have place lights here, placing it at a value of 6. And then we were also doing it... Or were we still doing it in there? I thought we were. Yeah. So why are these two not being run? It's only running one of them. Crystal link beacons. Because link beacons is called by... Oh no, find beacons. Find beacons then calls link beacons. Okay, so find beacons calls link beacons. So these beacons have, or these lights have been placed. Then we're finding new beacons. And then when those new beacons are found, we go to the link beacons. Such a mess. Not organized at all. And in the link beacons, we add the values. Now we're adding the value of links to one of each. You know what? Let's go ahead and print. I'm just curious if I'm messing something up here. I probably am. Light level 1 is... Because I bet this is where the mistake's coming through. Light level 1. And then, you guessed it, we're going to do the same thing here. Light level 2 is light level 2. Because theoretically, these should both be the same. In this scenario, at least, they should both be the same. Because they both only have one link. Yeah, they're both just linked to 1. In some of these other scenarios, things would be different because they're linked to multiple things. But this one's only linked to 1 each. Let's go ahead, destroy the lights. Destroy the beacons. Okay, so here, it's finding air, and then dirt for both, which is as it should. We haven't placed any lights in the linking beacons yet because we haven't linked beacons. These are both source 6. We place this. That's source 6, source 6, source 7. If we scroll through here, light level 1 is 7, light level 2 is 7. I'm sorry, but what? If the light levels are set to that, light level 1, light level 2, light level 1, light level 2. Place lights position and position 2. Those are the 2 correct positions. And I mean, we are seeing the lights place, so I know that's correct. Place lights, light level. Position 1, light level. Position 2, light level. Those are both dropping at the same levels. And then drop light is placing crystal light source value and value. Value doesn't change anywhere throughout here. What? Okay, well, let's try this, because maybe this isn't being replaced. I mean, that's a possibility. So we'll do print replacing existing lights. And then this will be print placing new lights. Maybe somehow the override's only overriding once. Not really an override, but you know what I mean. Okay, so let's scroll down through here until we get back to where we want. Placing new lights, placing new lights. It should say that twice because it's placing two lights. Then we place this. Replacing existing lights, replacing existing lights, replacing existing lights, replacing existing lights. And they all have a value of 7. So I'm confused. What? That has a value of 6, value of 6, value of 7. Is this like... Is this haunted or something? Crystal light source 7. Where is that number printing from? Is that my new node name here? Yeah, it must be. Crystal light source 6. Replacing existing lights. Finding a light source of 7, but then it's placing a 6. Light level. Is there something wrong with my counting here? No, because these both came through saying that light level is 7. Light level 1 is 7, light level 2 is 7. That's the only time it says it. Crystal light source 6. That's my new node that it found. And then it says it's replacing existing lights. And then my next one, it found a dirt, so it's placing new lights. Then it found light source 7, so it replaced. And then it found light source 7, so it replaced. Found light source 7, replaced. Found light source 7, replaced. But it should have been replacing with light source 7. We're just going to do this just to see. Maybe there's something funky going on that I'm not catching. Print light value in function is... I don't think that's the case, but maybe somehow something someplace is getting screwed up. I did not... Oh, also that doesn't work because that was not an error node. Those should not have placed there. Okay, let's try this again. So we place a beacon here. Light source 6, light source 6. Place a beacon here. Light source 6, light source 6. That one becomes light source 7. Okay, and we get something very interesting here. Light value in function is 6, placing new lights. Light value in function is 6, placing new lights. Light value in function is 7, replacing existing lights. Okay. Light value in function is 7, replacing existing lights. Light value in function is 6. Light value in function is 6, replacing existing lights. The last two times this function is being called, it's placing at a level of 6. Where am I setting this as a level of 6 outside of the initial placement function, wherever that was. Here we go, on place beacon. Print setting initial lights. I have a feeling that this code is somehow running the onPlace beacon code, which runs an afterPlace node, after the rest of this is done. Which doesn't seem to make sense. But I think that's what's happening. Okay, so we placed these. Light level is 7, light level 7, light value and function is 7. Light source 6, replacing existing lights. Light value and function is 7. Placing new lights for that. I found light source 6, replaces it. Setting initial lights. Light value is 6. Very interesting. So this code is what's bugging me out. Which is weird. But I think I can work around that by just doing this, which I feel like I had before. After place node, I'm going to put it in before the onPlace beacon function is all called. We know that this is always going to be the SR. And if we're putting our base at 6, we have that. And then we'll go ahead and do it here. And this will be LR for long range. Long range is going to give you 2 more lights out the get-go. Just because I feel like giving you extra light, you know? I'm a nice guy. All right, let's see if this fixes the problem. That's the wildest thing that you would think of. Like, I didn't think that code got executed that much later. But I guess. All right, so we have light level 6 and light level 6. Place this. We now have light level 7, and light level 7. So that all works. And then if I were to place a node and this, well, now I went back to light level 6. But that actually makes sense because this can't link to that. As crazy as it sounds, but the raycast, going from center of this node to center of this node, it must just clip onto this someplace. I don't know specifically where. Actually, we could find out exactly where because we can do this. Put an invisible light there, and then we can put one on top. Oops. I didn't realize that was the case. Oh, well, you know, we can do that too. I can place 2 here, and then remove this one and place stone there. Because that won't break it. It probably needs to break it, but at the moment it doesn't break it. There's kind of too much going on to really tell. But yeah, it's definitely hitting this. Okay, well, you know what? Looks like my work there is done. So that's debugged out, fixed, working. Really need to get this up someplace, but I still don't know a name for the game, so that's a bit of a problem. All right, and then we need to do a removal function, which I suppose I should make this a nice vector. And we're doing y minus I, which is actually still the same as this. And this just runs down until it doesn't find any invisible lights, I guess. That shouldn't change anything. And I think it'll... Well, first when it hits, it takes it away. Which is kind of weird if the code looked like it was dropping multiples. Anyway, we just do need to do the... Oh, you know what? Actually, that needs to also be in a function like this. Because I have to do a gajillion different positions. There's got to be a better way to do this. Put all the vectors into a table and then just run through the table and drop the light at each table entry. Is that really any more efficient? Probably saves me some time typing, but technically I can just reuse the same position over and over, right? That should work. I can just say position 1. And if this is -3 and -1, then we change this one to, ooh, wait, no, we keep that as is. We drop light at position 1. Then we copy this. This is going to be the messiest. But also, it should work. So, I don't know. Okay, we'll just test that real quick. I think that'll do what it's supposed to do. Other than if it's placed on the ground, which, there we go. And these should all be, oh, these are source 9 now? Because we're linking to so many other beacons? Sweet. I just thought of something. When these are removed, these also need to update the light sources. Oh, there's so much updating to do because so many things are dependent upon other things. That's kind of annoying. It says there's 2 links, which is correct. Those all say 2 links, so that's all correct. They're all version 9, light level 9, whatever. Which is fine. Alright. I mean, I'm happy enough with it. So then we just do we have to have a drop to light removal that'll run something very similar to this. I guess I'll copy this whole chunk. No, actually I'll just copy one line of it because I'm changing from the X to the Z axes. So this will be 0 and then this will be -3. This is such a good way. That'll be -1, 1, 3. So we do -1, 1, 3. And then if we place another beacon out here, again, for whatever reason, it has to be 1 node above dirt. Places all these lights. Those have all placed lights. Very nice. So if we were to build a tower-like structure that we were then going to place our crystals on, I'm thinking something like this, because we need to have some space to walk on it because we wouldn't want to fall. So we're going to put a whole rail around it. I don't know exactly how we get up to this point, but that's fine. And then we're going to put corners on too, which is kind of silly. And we're even going to do this, which is even more silly. So then we're going to put that higher because otherwise our beacon won't match. And then we get lights that drop correctly. So they're up here and down here, which could be, much lower down. We're linking up to a few things. We probably could link to more if we didn't have these here. It's only linked to 2 nodes, which is this one and this one. Actually, no, that's the only 2 it could. These are too far away. All right, well, that's enough for today, I think. That's working out quite nicely. Then I just have to do the opposite, which actually I can take this whole bit here, and I just need to change every drop light to, is it remove light? Drop to light removal. That's a really long function name. I might change that. But I just do the same thing. It uses all the same values, and it'll just pull them all out. And then unfortunately, if beacon type is long range, I'm copying all this and I'm adding in 4 more. And actually, this isn't even all of them yet, because then I meant to put a light source here as well, which with this construction may or may not work, because that's the same height as the beacon center there is. And as we saw, when you place it on the ground, oh wait, no, it works. Okay, what did I change that made that fixed? What happens in snow? snow doesn't count? I mean, I'm glad it doesn't, but I'm surprised it doesn't. Well, that's fine. So what then if I... Oh, well, that's why. Because if it's at its own point, I guess it doesn't even check. It just... That's probably not good. New position. So it automatically checks at a -1 position already. So local I actually needs to... Well, this is an easy fix. Let's start local I with 0. So if, for whatever goofy reason, you decided, hey man, I'm going to put my crystal underground. I mean, that is right, though. That would be what you would actually want happening. And then if we put one up on a post here, I mean, theoretically, that should link to it. Because the lights aren't meant to block, although the dirt in the ground would block it. So you probably don't want to do that. As long as the removal code works, though, we'll be all right. And now it will link, yeah. Oh, and it's linking to this one? Dude, there's so much linking going on. You'll love to see it. And it's so bright. Okay, maybe it's not that bright, but it's not super dark. So that's good. I mean, that whole idea is kind of that the game is a little bit dark. And we've got all of our little crystal particle systems going. Dude, this is great. This is working good. Now we need to, put an actual game together, because this is just kind of proof of concept stuff right now. And that's going to do it for tonight. There won't be a stream tomorrow. Wednesday evenings we have stuff going on. Thursday there should. Friday I don't know yet. So come hang out for a couple hours on Thursday if you want. Hopefully by then I'll have a title for this game so I can get it uploaded and you can steal the code or do whatever you want. Steal the assets, because there's so many good assets right now. There's one particle texture. That's the only new piece of content I've created for this. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.